Hello, Professor Gilbo. This is me, Mauricio. I am recording my current speech for my informative presentation for our class, COMM-101. Here's my audience. Some of them have their cameras on, some are able to, some are not, but they're all here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started, guys. So music's awesome, right? Who here thinks music is pretty awesome? I mean, I think everybody can agree, right? Not all at once. Come on, guys, raise your hands. But yeah, music's great. And who here has ever played music while you're cleaning or studying? Not all at once. And have you ever wondered, why is that? Well, as an avid music listener and a full-time student, I can most definitely say that I've tried every avenue of music possible. I mean, I've tried country, I've tried rock, I've tried everything, even heavy metal to help me get me focused and like productive. And it wasn't until one night where I had procrastinated almost all of my assignments and I decided to search for some ambiance music on YouTube in order to calm me down from it. And almost all the searches came back from stating as like lo-fi hip hop, if you guys have ever heard of that. And that's when I said, what the heck is lo-fi hip hop, right? And ever since I clicked on it to this day, I still use lo-fi beats. That's what they're called, lo-fi beats. To help me study and stay productive. And that's precisely why I'm here today on this call with you. I've researched what this kind of new genre of music really is and if it really does affect our minds in a productive way. But before I get into all of that, here's a little sample as to what I might be referring to or if you've heard it before. So give me 1 second. I got to share my audio here with you guys. Cool. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Can you guys hear that? Yeah. See how it's like super like melancholy and low? So to that point, basically, let's talk about the genre of music in itself. And what lo-fi basically stands for, it stands for low fidelity, which basically translates to a low production value in the music world. And these beats are, again, they're like a form of down-tempo music that combines a variety of elements. A lot of the instruments that are used are like piano, violin, even like saxophone and a bunch of different others. For example, even the Washington Post, yes, published an article in 2020 that described this music as being a loose network of artists who repurposed their last century drum machines and samples for its signature mellow sound. So the term used there, repurposed, and that suggests that this genre of music must have been created by just a bunch of artists kind of messing around with sounds and having fun. And even though being of low production value for this music, it does have significant effects on our brain. And let's see why. So because of their slow and like melancholy tempo, this music does affect our minds in a positive, productive way. And that way is through the phenomenon called the Mozart effect, if some of you have heard of it. And if you haven't, well, I'm about to explain. For instance, this journal article that was published in 2000 explains the idea. It is a scholarly journal article, so just bear with me here on the fancy wording. And it basically stated that college students' scores on spatial subtests of the Stanford Binet IQ battery, basically just an IQ test, increased an equivalent of 8 to 9 IQ points for 10 to 15 minutes after listening to about 10 minutes of Mozart's piano sonata. So basically what this phenomenon is saying is that listening to music by Mozart could temporarily increase your IQ score. And the reason why is because the music that you're listening to affects the two parts in your brain. And those parts are your parietal lobes. So the part of your brain, the parietal lobes, that's responsible for sensory input and translating that input into action. So when you think of Mozart music, you most likely think of what? Piano, strings, and like no lyrics. And to me, that sounds very similar to what a lo-fi beat is. And so to try and prove this effect, I've created this little experiment on myself. I recorded myself listening to lo-fi beats while I took notes. It's a little self-taken video, and I compared it to when I did it. So here are the results. So let me share my screen here. Sorry. Okie doke. Let me know if you guys can see this. Can you guys see like a black screen so far? Thumbs up? Yep. Okay. So this is a little self video. So it's me sped up, obviously, me in the tie-dyes, me listening to lo-fi beats, and you can kind of see how I'm like a little bit heavier focused than when I am in my purple sweater. I'm kind of a little bit more distracted when I'm in my purple sweater. I'm kind of looking around and I'm not really focused all too much, right? So that being said, yeah, I mean, let's now move into like we've explored what a lo-fi beat is and how they affect your mind. So let's briefly explore how they came to be known into the world. And so the genre of music is actually very, very new. For example, to get a sense as to how new this genre is, the world-renowned website that some of you might have known, it's called Masterclass. It's basically a website where a bunch of people can log on and learn about different things at their own pace. And they've investigated the origins of what a lo-fi beat is. And it stated that the history of contemporary lo-fi music dates back to the debut of a live stream channels on YouTube in 2013. In 2015, one YouTube channel in particular called Chilled Cow, weird name, now it's known as Lo-Fi Girl, if some of you might have heard of it, but it became a sort of lo-fi hip hop radio station by broadcasting a continuous live stream for more than 13,000 hours since 2017. And ever since then, it's conducted about 7.5 million people. So obviously the 2010 decade has taken the lo-fi genre by storm, and it enhanced its popularity merely by interested and creative artists who are just putting out content into the internet. And so just as a comparison, here's a sample of a lo-fi beat from the early 2010s versus like now. So again, I'm going to share my audio. Here you guys go. Let me know if you guys can hear what I'm doing. Can you guys kind of hear that? See how it's like just piano music with like rain in the background? It's really calming, actually. Okie doke. So there's that example. And you can kind of see the difference, right? How at the beginning it was like super like in depth and it sounded like an actual song. And so after everything considered here, I hope you guys can find this information a little bit more useful, especially for those avid music junkies out there and those YouTube watchers. I know myself personally, I'm someone who watches a lot of YouTube, too much, if I'm being honest. And if you were to ever stumble upon this type of music out there, hopefully now you'll know exactly what it is. So thank you guys very much for your time.